have Kapil Sharma here with us. Kapil is founder of Say Trees, an organization which is creating forests in urban and rural areas across India. In the process, Say Trees have planted more than 2 lakh trees across India, have held more than hundreds of farmers, and rejuvenated thousands of water bodies. So, welcome, Kapil. Welcome to Change Trails. We are very excited to have you here with us. We would like to discuss about your journey, how it started, what inspired you, what motivated you in this discussion. So,
Sure, so much, Varun.
over to you, Kapil.
Yes, so, first of all, thank you so much. Okay, the only thing I feel is that I'm just trying to do whatever I can in whatever less time we have available in this planet. Okay, so it all started when, I was exposed to something so beautiful as Bangalore. Okay,
Right.
I mean, something which was so beautiful. Bangalore was once called the Garden City. Okay, I came to Bangalore in 2001.
Right.
Okay, the moment I reached there, I felt that there is nothing, there is no other city like Bangalore. Trees everywhere. Cities were totally covered with, the city was entirely covered with trees. The streets were totally covered with trees.
Right.
Okay, and I come from a small city in northern India where temperature reaches 46, 47, even more than that.
Right.
Pollution is at its peak.
Right.
But when I came to Bangalore, I felt that I'm in a heaven.
Right.
Okay, I felt that there are no summer seasons in Bangalore. Okay, it used to even rain during May and June when otherwise in North India the summer is at peak. You cannot go out of your house. But it used to rain almost evening, every evening in Bangalore. Okay, so that was Bangalore for me. I was shocked to see a place which is so nice, so amazing. I completed my engineering, started going to my office. Being a software engineer, I had to travel every day.
Right.
Post 2005, 2006, I started seeing that many century old trees, huge trees, okay, trees having canopy of 30 to 40 feet, were being cut almost every day.
Right.
For various development projects like road widening in metro and others. Because something which I was valuing so much, okay, I started seeing those trees being brought down in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, that is what struck me a lot. I started feeling that what will happen if almost all of the trees are gone. Bangalore will become a city which is like any other city where everything is exposed to sun.
Yeah.
Right. That means the summer will be harsh. Right. Huge water problems will be there, and all of those things. It all started with all of these fears, which have now come true. Okay.
Right.
In Bangalore, we do feel summer now.
Right.
Okay. Before every summer, you would see people in Bangalore, they start their online frustration thing where they start talking about why it is so much of heat, why it is heated so much, and people talk about planting trees just when the summer starts.
Yeah.
So this is what made me feel that being a citizen, I should do something. Okay, I should at least try to do something, because I always feel that I don't want to regret 10 years from now. I don't want to look back and think that, oh, I should have done something.
Yeah.
Okay, just thinking about that, I thought that, okay, let us try what I can do as an individual. I started visiting the government offices. Okay, because I was working from Monday to Friday. The only time I used to have was Saturday, because Saturday only government offices are open only for first half. Right, and then I think most of the offices follow offs on some weekends of a month and things like that. So I used to have very less time to talk to these government officials. But I still started visiting these offices on Saturdays. Okay, I started meeting people to find out what can I do as an individual.
Right.
Okay, and I always have that in mind, that okay, even if I'm planting one tree, how do I make sure that it grows to become a tree? Right, I should just not plant and leave it and forget it.
Yeah.
Okay, because quality always mattered over quantity.
True.
Okay, that is why Say Trees, even though we are more than 13 years old, number of saplings with Say Trees are very less, but I can assure you that number of trees which we have is more than many other NGOs. Right, because I always believed I'll plant sapling only when I can take care of it. Okay.
Right.
So that is how it all started. It started with one sapling in 2007. Okay, so after meeting the forest officers and other people, I realized that okay, you know, we know that trees are being brought down on roadside, but there are still many places where trees can be planted.
Right.
This is where it all started. I started visiting parks, I started visiting lakes, because there you cannot make a road. Okay.
True.
So I started visiting school campuses, parks, lakes, hospital campuses, all of these places which had places within them to plant saplings
Right.
and take care of them. So that is how it all started. It started with one sapling in 2007.
Right.
Okay, then 100 saplings in 2008, and it has grown. We are now planting more than 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh. Like last year, we planted 1.5 lakh saplings.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
2019.
wow.
Okay,
Awesome.
so total count as of now is close to 5.5 lakhs.
Wow.
Okay, so yes, the whole aim is that I want to create as many forests as I can. Okay, as many forests as I can. Whenever I read news about government giving permission to any agency to cut a 500-acre forest, okay,
Right.
the very moment I think that, oh, I wish I can create a 500-acre forest.
Right.
Okay, see, I always feel that I'm not against development.
Yeah.
Okay, but I always feel that what can I do? Okay, if I cannot stop a 500-acre forest from being destroyed, nobody can stop me from creating a 500-acre forest, right?
True.
So I try to do whatever I feel is possible, from my end. Okay, so that is why we want to create many forests, as many forests as possible.
So
Okay.
yeah, so this is really inspirational, Kapil. So, but I mean, just a question, going back to your, I mean, you said that you went to government and asked for their help and collaboration. So, how much help did you got from them? Because generally there is a mindset that government generally doesn't come out to help, right? So,
Oh
how do
yeah,
they help? How do they collaborate with you? How do they help in finding out a patch of land that this can be
correct,
on
correct,
which you can take it forward?
correct. I'll tell you one small incident which happened, because I told you around 2005-6, a lot of trees were being brought down. So one weekend I was at the government office, okay, and I was sitting outside the forest officer's office. The person came out and asked me, "Are you here to take permission to cut down a tree?"
Mm-hmm.
I told, "No, sir, I'm here to take permission to plant trees."
Right.
Okay, but it's not that they were not helpful. The forest officers were very helpful. I met some amazing forest officers who were trying really hard to save whatever they can and to even grow new forests. Okay, so help from government has always been there. Okay, whether it is getting permission for lakes to plant saplings, or whether it is initially even getting saplings from the government authorities. So help from government has always been there. Okay, because they are the ones who have access to all the information.
Correct.
Okay,
Exactly.
they are the one who can tell you where which land is available.
True.
Right, so they have been helpful because they also saw that there are other people also who are taking care of it.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
you can imagine their condition as well.
True.
People were reaching out to them to cut tree in their campus because they did not like the leaves which fell into their campus. Okay, so you can imagine how horrible it might be for these forest officers who only know about trees and who only know to grow trees and take care of them.
True.
So it is individuals' fault as well.
Yeah.
That people don't value what is so obvious. Okay, people want to breathe clean air, but they don't want leaves falling in outside their house also, because
Exactly.
they have to clean. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, what regions have you identified, Kapil? I mean, what all patches of land you have identified? And I believe you have moved beyond Bangalore and you have gone
Oh yeah,
other parts of the country as well.
correct. So we started. I started in Bangalore.
Hmm.
Okay, I started planting in lakes first,
Right.
because as I said, I wanted to plant in locations where I can protect the saplings easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whether it is protecting them from animals or whether it is protecting them from humans,
Right.
it is same. It is
Right.
equal. Okay, so I started with planting lake. Now we have planted saplings in about 29 lakes in Bangalore.
Wow.
Okay, and we are planting saplings in lakes every year.
Right.
Okay, so we have planted in lakes, we have planted in school campuses, we have planted in railway campuses, we have planted in army campuses, we have planted in hospitals. Okay.
Is it
So
on Bangalore or Karnataka?
no. So what started from Bangalore, it spread. People started liking the results. Okay.
Yeah.
People saw what the results were. Okay, because I always post the updates
Right.
online. So people started seeing what is happening. And I always believe a reward of a good work is more work.
Exactly.
Okay. So that is what happened. Okay. I started getting requests from different cities
Right.
that please, we would love to do the same thing here. And when we launched our farmer project, I even got requests from Uttar Pradesh. Some farmers reached out to us and they said that if we can help them in fruit saplings. So, this led me to start tree plantation in other cities as well.
Mm-hmm.
We are now planting saplings in Chennai.
Right.
We have done plantation in Hyderabad. We have done in Mumbai. We have done plantation in rural areas in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka, and in Andhra Pradesh also.
Right.
We have done plantation in rural areas of Maharashtra as well.
Wow.
We have even done plantation in Delhi NCR region.
Wow.
Okay. We have done plantation in Orissa as well.
Awesome.
Okay.
So is it like something you do it yourself, or you have group of people who are helping you? And how do you
No,
arrange these people? I mean, volunteers.
yeah. So when I started, I was alone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing it alone till 2014 with help of other nature lovers.
Right.
Okay. So it was their passion as well.
Right.
Who used to spend some time on weekends by planting and taking care of the saplings. Okay, that was used to, I always believed that, if I just keep planting sapling, that is not enough. Okay.
Right.
We need more and more people to understand the importance of trees.
Right.
Okay. And we need more and more people to pass on this information.
Exactly.
Okay. So I was doing it alone till 2014.
Yeah.
Okay. But then I added one team member in Shade Trees as a full-time resource because I felt that our efforts have to be exponential.
True.
And it is not possible if I just do it on weekend.
Yeah.
I would not be able to reach the goal I want to if I just do it on weekends.
True.
So I started I just added one person in Shade Trees as a full-time member of the Shade Trees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his job used to be only plant trees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And till today we have grown to 25 full-time members with Shade Trees.
Wow, awesome.
So these are 25 full-time team members whose job is only to plant trees and create forest and do all of these kinds of things.
Nice.
Okay. So in different cities, I have now people working for Shade Trees in different cities. Okay. And we are trying to create forest wherever possible. So I have always believed, I have always treated Shade Trees like a startup.
Yeah.
Okay. Where I am very passionate. I'm passionate, but I'm very aggressive also.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I just don't want to plant few trees every year. Okay.
Yeah.
That will not help.
Yeah.
So I treat Shade Trees like a startup.
Yeah.
And the benefit or the profit for me is as many trees as they can be there.
Awesome.
Okay. So the profit for us is in terms of number of acres of forest we have created.
Yeah.
Okay. But otherwise, operational wise, I consider Shade Trees as a startup. We are very hungry. We are very passionate. We are very proactive.
Right.
We want to reach out to as many people as possible and plant as many saplings as possible.
Right. But I mean, having said that, I mean, you would need resources as well, right? You would need money, you would need tools. So is it only because of volunteers' help, or you take citizens and people like us also on board?
Yeah, Shade Trees, our work is funded totally by corporates who are ready to donate to such causes and individuals who are also willing to donate whatever they can in their personal capacity. Okay. Right. We have people donating 11 rupees to us. Okay. We have corporates donating many lakhs rupees to us because they like the cause.
Right.
Okay. And they see that something is happening on ground.
Right.
Okay. So Shade Trees is funded by organizations and individuals, both. Okay. That's how we are able to manage all of these people working full time, dedicating their every day towards creating forests.
True. So how do you motivate corporates or citizens like us to contribute towards this cause? I mean, is it self-driven, or you ask some celebrity to come and promote it for you, or you go to individuals?
No, so as I said in the beginning, the reward of good work is more work.
Yeah,
So the only thing we have been doing at SateTrees is just showing the results of our work.
true.
Okay. So there was time where we had no corporates.
Yeah.
Okay. But the moment we started publishing our results, showing our trees to the people, that's how people started to know what we have done, and more corporates started reaching out to us. Okay. So we do reach out to corporates whenever we know that somebody is interested, but corporates also reach out to us. But the link which is there in among all of these things are the good work which has happened.
That's
Okay.
true.
So we show pictures of our forest, we show videos of our forests. Okay. We ask them to come and see our forests.
Right.
Okay. We are ready to go to as far as we can, because I want them to believe that what they are with whom they are partnering with. Okay.
Correct.
So my first preference will be, I will like that if they come and physically see our work. If not, we have photos and videos which we circulate,
Awesome.
and show our work to them.
Awesome. So in this journey, I mean, have you ever encountered any obstacles where somebody would have come and said, "What are you doing? Why are you putting things on my land?" Or any kind of things, any obstacle, any challenges which you would have faced, and how did you overcome that? And I'm sure in this journey, it's like 13, 14 years of journey. I'm sure sometimes there would be some demotivation also creeping in. Like, I'm doing it and nobody's helping us. So how did you overcome that?
It has happened. It has happened many times. Okay, and you brought out 2 points. Okay, which has happened to me, but I'll tell you then what happens. Okay. Yeah. So I have encountered many such instances where people used to ask, and people used to come and ask me, "Why are you doing it? Don't plant tree here. Okay, this is the place where I park my car. So you cannot plant a tree here. I don't want this species of tree outside my house." Right. Okay. Many such instances have happened where we have planted the sapling, and after a few minutes people take them out. Right. Okay. These instances have been there. Okay. So but I always feel that there is no use of arguing with such people who don't understand these logics. True. Okay. So I always look for places where I feel that okay, they can be safe without any issues.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has happened, and this happens now also. Yeah. Okay. Because land has become the most precious things for everybody. Yeah. Okay. Giving away land is very dear to anyone. Yeah. Okay. Even if it is not their land, they people are still hesitant. People will still create troubles. True. Okay. True. So that has happened, and it still happens. Okay. But that is something which is not demotivating, because I know it is. These are very small instances. Okay. Coming to your second topic, where have I felt demotivated ever? I have felt demotivated many times. Okay, and I also used to feel that why am I doing it? Okay, I don't even know if I'll be able to take the advantage or take the benefit of these trees when they are grown.
Right.
Many issues have happened over this journey which made me feel that I should just leave it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have had sleepless nights. Okay. Because see, once something is you're passionate about something, it becomes very dear to you. True. Okay. And if something is so dear to you that you're thinking about it, every second, and if something wrong happens to it, you feel very bad. Okay. You feel very demotivated. So it has happened many times. Many big tree plantation drives have been cancelled, even after doing the preparations, and many such things have happened.
Right.
Okay. So, but still, I very frankly, I do get demotivated. But after a few days, a new opportunity comes on my way. Okay, which attracts me again, and I again start working on it.
Right.
Okay. So if I lost one land where I could have planted 1,000 saplings, a very nice place and things like that, where even because of whatever reason it happened, but after a few days I'll get a place where I can plant 10,000 saplings. So I forget about those 1,000 saplings and move ahead and prepare for 10,000 saplings.
Right.
Okay. So this is how, and seeing these forests motivates me a lot. Okay. Right. Seeing the results. You spoke about Miyawaki forest.
Yes.
We are shocked to see the results of Miyawaki forest.
Yeah, my next question is that only, Kapil. So, I mean, in your website, you have alluded that you use Miyawaki technique. So, to our viewers, if you can explain what is Miyawaki technique and how is it helping you in growing forests?
Sure. So Miyawaki technique is a Japanese technique to grow trees. Okay, it's a Japanese technique which gives you a forest which grows 10 times fast.
Right.
Okay, so there are claims that you will get a 100-year-old like forest in just 10 years. Okay, the forest is 30 times more dense. Okay, so which means 30 times more benefits.
Okay.
So we tried one such forest. See, I know this technique from 2010.
Okay.
It was brought to India and it was made famous by Shubhendu Sharma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he is the founder of A-Forest, and I know him since 2010. So I know the technique since 2010. Okay, but somehow I could not try it till 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I took a decision to try it on 2016.
Right.
And by 2017 I saw the results.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the results were so amazing that since 2016, or you can say since 2017, now we have created more than 20 Miyawaki forests.
Wow.
The first forest was of 2000 saplings, but the latest forest which we have created is of 30,000 saplings in one location.
Wow.
Okay, it is even more than 35. I think it is close to 38,000 saplings.
Wow.
Okay, so it is something amazing. It is something very good for cities which are converting into concrete jungles.
Right.
Okay, we can bring back the lost greenery quickly. In a small space, you get more benefits, and the area become green very quickly. If you just plant a sapling and leave it, you will not even know the sapling would have been brought down after 10-15 days. But when you have such a dense forest, it's automatically protected.
Right. So can you share some tips as to how to grow Miyawaki forest? I mean, if somebody has a patch of land, then how can they grow a Miyawaki forest within the limited means?
Yeah, so basically it is something, I will not say it is complex, but it is something which one needs to experience and learn from it. Okay, so even if I tell you now, first of all, I'll not be able to tell you everything over the call, because there are too many things involved in it.
Sure.
Okay. The only suggestion I give people when they reach out to me asking what they can do in their forest, okay, I tell them is that, why don't you join us for one of the tree plantation drive?
Right.
See what we have done, see what we are doing,
right,
and you ask my team members who are present on ground.
Right. Makes sense.
You ask them questions.
Right.
Okay. Then take back whatever you learned and try to implement it in your ground.
Right.
And whenever you have any doubt, you reach out back to us.
Sure.
Okay. But it is mainly generically, if I tell you what Miyawaki technique is, okay, you study the ground. Okay. You study the ground well for its content. Okay. And you, what do you call? You make it such a nice, you give materials to the ground so that it becomes healthy for plants to grow.
Right.
Okay. Some soil may be missing something.
Right.
Okay. Some soil may have excess of something.
Right.
You balance it out. Okay. You prepare your soil so well that it becomes like in farming also. When farmers do farming, they prepare the soil, right?
Right.
It is something similar to that.
Okay.
You prepare your soil nicely based on the conditions, based on the nearby areas and what is there and all of those things, and then you plant saplings there. Okay. So soil preparation is most important Miyawaki technique. The next is placement of saplings.
Right.
Okay. So sapling placement also people learn over experience.
Right.
Okay. You have to think 4 layers of forest and then place the saplings.
Right.
Okay. So these are the two most important things. Okay.
Right.
Preparation of soil and placement of saplings.
Right.
Okay. So if anybody is interested in doing it, please join us in any tree plantation drives.
Yeah.
Miyawaki tree plantation drives. See what has been done. Ask questions and then you go back and implement it.
True.
Okay. It is not rocket science. Yeah. You just need to think properly before doing anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
So in light of the current situation, the current COVID pandemic which is happening, so I believe there is some bit of focus or attention brought back to environment. That is what whatever I've done, what I have seen. So some attention is coming back to environment and climate, right? So how do you see going forward the future would be?
Yeah, I see that yes, people are appreciating environment more in this recent time where people are, not able to do anything. They are stuck.
Yes.
Okay. So I feel that it's personally, I feel that it's like a reset button which has happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. It is nice that people are appreciating environment a lot. Okay. But usually we humans have habit of forgetting things.
True.
Okay. So I also feel that maybe people will lose, all of this focus in 6 months or 1 year from now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I personally feel that it is a chance for or it's a reset button for all of us, where even if everybody improves their habit by certain limit,
Yeah.
it will bring a big impact.
Right.
Okay. Very big impact. So even if people cannot change their lifestyle completely,
Yeah.
even a small change in the lifestyle of every individual will actually have big impact.
So what is one tip you would like to give it to people out there?
Yeah, I mean, one tip which I would like to give people is that first of all, they everybody has to appreciate environment.
Right.
Okay. And the second most important thing is utilize resources judicially. I mean, be very careful when you utilize any resources. Okay. Whether it is electricity, whether it is water. Okay. Let us not waste resources, or whether it is fuel. Okay. Whether it is using of plastic.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are very, very small things. If we follow, it'll be actually big.
True.
Okay. So I always feel that everybody should just respect the resources which are available to us. Okay. Let's not just waste things if we have never seen their shortage. Okay. For example, people always felt that there are so many trees, nothing will happen if I bring 10 down.
Yeah. Yeah.
They started bringing 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and now there are no trees.
Yeah.
Right. It is happening to water also.
True.
People never thought, our great grandfathers never thought that there will be shortage of water.
Exactly.
Right. It's just that people has to respect these resources.
Yeah.
Okay. And not waste anything, even if it is wasting food. Okay.
Exactly.
So just utilize resources as much as you need. Okay.
Exactly.
And it can be anything. It can be as simple as keeping the tap off while you're brushing your teeth. I teach this to my daughter. Okay.
So very true. Yeah.
I teach her that most of the time the tap has to be off, and you on it only when you need it and quickly switch it off.
Yeah.
Right. So these are small things which people should follow. Just because you don't know that when the water may run out, that does not mean that you should just use it blindly. Okay.
Yeah.
And it applies to almost everything. Anything which you feel can be saved should be saved. As people like to save their money, okay, our natural resources are as important as that.
So very rightly said, Kapil. So now I believe you are in US from last few years. So what your future plans, and how do you want to take Say Trees forward?
Oh yeah, I mean, even though I'm in US from last 4 or 5 years,
Right.
okay, I'm still managing Say Trees from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen that Say Trees has grown many folds in last 4-5 years when I'm here.
Right.
Okay. This is also giving me opportunities to talk to our organization here.
Right.
And see how they can help us in executing projects back in India.
Sure.
We have recently got many projects supported and funded by organizations from US.
Right.
So projects which are happening in Bangalore and other cities, I have been able to get support from US.
Right.
Okay. So yes, even though I'm in US, I still give 4 to 5 hours to cities every day.
Wow.
Okay. While I'm traveling to my office, I'm on calls. I utilize that 1 hour while going to office, 1 hour while coming to office.
Yeah.
Okay. So morning time, I'm in calls because it is evening in India. And when I'm coming back from office, I spend time over emails and everything because it is night in India.
Right.
Sorry, it is very early morning in India.
Yes.
Okay. So I utilize when I wait for my daughter to sleep. The moment she sleeps, I take out my laptop and I start working on Say Trees for next 2-3 hours in the night.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, I've been trying whatever I can do. So I don't feel that I am away from all of this, because on a daily basis I am still connected with each and every person there. I still talk to government officials. I still talk to organizations there.
Right.
So, technology has helped me a lot. Okay. So even though I'm not present on ground, I get photos, I get videos, and I'm there. Virtually, I'm there.
So how
Okay.
is it in US? I mean, so this tree or environment problem is everywhere. It is not just restricted to India. So
True,
how is
true.
it like in US? I mean, do you take any inspiration or techniques or tips from US which you want to bring it to India, or are you also doing something in US as well?
Yeah, I am trying to create Miyawaki forest in US as well.
Wow,
Okay.
awesome.
Talks are going on to create Miyawaki forest in Africa as well.
Wow.
Okay. But again, all of these projects depends on funding. If I am able to source funding for these projects, for sure we'll have Miyawaki forest created in US and in Africa as well.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm trying to do whatever I can, here as well. Okay. The way I moved from another city to Bangalore, Bangalore became my home. Okay. And wherever I am now also is my home. Okay. So I try to do whatever I can here as well. Okay. Whether it is planting saplings, I take my daughter to plant saplings here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. In various tree plantation events. Okay. So I try to do whatever I can. Okay.
Really.
But yes. Yes, go ahead.
It's really inspirational the way you are doing things. So how did you came to that name called Say Trees? What was the reason for Say Trees?
Oh yeah, I mean, Say Trees was created from Say Cheese.
Oh,
Okay. The whole intention was that people should come and enjoy, planting trees.
right.
They should feel happy. Okay. Because when people are happy, that is when we get the best result out. Okay. I don't want people to come with, thinking that, oh, what am I doing? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right. I want people to come, be happy, and enjoy planting saplings.
True.
Okay. And I want them to come back also and take care of those saplings, and then come back 5 years from now and see their saplings converted into trees. Right. So it was all, it started with Say Cheese. And that is why at the end of every tree plantation project or tree plantation drive, we ask people for a group photo.
Right.
And we ask them to still say trees instead of Say Cheese.
And
Right.
incidentally, your name is also, resembles a name of a popular
Yes.
celebrity in India, right? And
Yes.
his name is always Say Cheese.
Yeah.
Did you got into any confusion with that guy?
No, I mean there was an incident where somebody thought that I am the other Kapil Sharma.
That's what.
Yeah, because somebody shared one post in Facebook mentioning that Kapil Sharma is doing a tree plantation drive, and people felt that it is the other Kapil Sharma.
Kapil Sharma. So lovely, Kapil. I mean, thanks for spending this time. I mean, your journey is really inspirational. You have truly personified our organization is change starts from me and you. And you have truly personified that change starts from me and you example. So thanks a lot. So any final thoughts on what you want to say to people?
Thank you so much, Varun. I would just like to tell everyone that, as in recent days, we have seen how much nature is important to us, and how it all came back. People started sharing pictures of mountains which were visible after so many years.
Correct.
Rivers being their water getting cleaner. Okay. So I would just request everybody that this is how these things should be.
Yes.
Okay. We don't need a lockdown to show us all of these natural beauty to us.
True.
Okay. Now, once we have seen all of this, and once we have seen the change of, just stopping everything, what change it did. Okay. I feel everybody should now target similar things without everything being stopped. Okay. Let us continue with our day-to-day life, a normal life, but also let's hope that we can see those mountains every day. We don't have to wait for a COVID to show those mountains to us. Okay. And people say that what will happen if it's a small thing, right? Yeah. What will happen if I change myself? It's right. Not like that. Okay. There is saying that it's just one straw said 8 billion people, right? So we should not feel that what will happen if an individual changes. A lot will happen even if one individual changes. Right. Okay. So I would suggest everybody to respect nature. Okay. To bring all small changes in your life which you feel you can manage. I would not say that you start walking from your home to office if your office is 25 kilometers away. Okay, but at least see if you can use a bus, right? So try to bring changes which are possible, changes which you can manage. Okay, and you will see eventually you will be able to actually do a lot more than whatever you thought of. Okay, so my suggestion is conserve resources. Okay, don't waste electricity, don't waste water, don't waste food. Stop using plastic as much as possible. Okay, and then there are many more, and I believe people will realize, when if they start with small thing, slowly they will start seeing other things also, which they will again start to conserve. Okay, so yeah, I mean, let's be very careful. If we are not careful now, we'll face even bigger challenges in future.
Exactly. So thanks a lot, Kapil. Thank you so much for your time. It was pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Varun. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.